Welcome back to Doom. We now have our much better shotgun. Hooray, time
Yeah,
to kill fucking everything in like half the number of shots.
I do like how the gun gets kind of smeared with blood if you blow stuff up to when you're close to it, which is what you're going to be doing a lot with the shotgun. Something about the metallic texture of this particular shotgun makes it really look mesmerizingly disgusting.
It was also, if you're into that sort of thing, that's kind of one of my favorite things about God of War 3 was all the gory kills up close. But that blow would actually stay on Kratos for a while.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm weird about gore. Like I don't actively dislike it, but if it's too unsubtle, it turns me off.
Well, no, you see, that's the thing. If it's too unsubtle, then I kind of find it that the joke.
Yeah, I know.
that-
I know. It's a joke that I don't find funny. Is all. You know.
Honestly, though, I'm on and off with it. It depends on, I guess, how grotesque.
It's weird. I don't consider myself to be a very squeamish person, but I don't like seeing blood, like even fake blood. I don't get an awful. I don't like it when it's overdone and like when you can obviously tell it's fake or whatever. I don't. A lot of people like will watch the old slasher movies like the Friday the 13th and.
Oh, those are hilarious by
and-
today's standards.
Yeah, and like people are like, "Oh man, I can't wait to see how Jason or Freddy fuck people up or whatever." But like, I don't
Yeah.
really like. And I mean, the effects, while impressive on a technical level, I don't really get an awful lot of satisfaction out of watching someone's head being like run over by a lawnmower or whatever. Like, I don't know. I don't. I guess.
I kind of feel the same way, but I'll save my extended thoughts on horror and horror media for when we finally get to Silent Hill. The
Silent Hill, you mean the one that takes place in Kindergarten Cop?
But like I've never really been that much of a Mortal Kombat fatalities guy. Like a lot of people find that stuff badass. I just kind of shrug.
Yeah, same
Like-
same here. Like it's just
Like
like,
I,
okay.
like I can see the most gory, gruesome, badass fatality and not blink at it. It's weird. It's probably why I like games more than movies, especially when it comes to horror, because I'm more enamored by. Okay, that was pretty cool. Actually, the explosion blasts him directly into your shotgun blast. Okay, that was funny. I do find it funny sometimes, especially when it's unexpected. I think part of
No,
it
I'm just that awesome.
I think part of it is actually that unexpected aspect. Like if it's a big fancy scripted gory thing, I like it doesn't surprise me or wow me. Like it's very impressive how much work they put into the animations and the modeling there. But I'm more
To me, my favorite kind of fatalities are when they just have fun with it.
yeah. It's
Like,
just,
and it's kind of antiquated example, but nothing beats Quan Chi ripping your leg off and beating you with it.
well,
Friendship.
Unless it's Doom Guy ripping your leg off and beating you with it.
Yeah.
That's happened several times already. But I find that kind of thing more interesting as part of a gameplay experience when it happens as part of the gameplay rather than as part of the scripted element that accompanies gameplay, So I'm more interested in what goes on during the fight than about the finisher move, That's my my thing about Mortal Kombat, and it's why I'm such a big fan of Mortal Kombat 10 when I really could not have given much of a shit about the games beforehand.
I mean, it kind of just depends on context as well. So, I mean, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, if it's like we use the term cinematic for like something like God of War, like the gory kills here, where you can get, at least to me, like some level of satisfaction on just fucking shit up, at least with regards to like Doom Guy and such.
Yeah.
Because it's meant to be like, okay, you guys stand no chance against me, so I'm just gonna like tear you apart, sort of thing.
Yeah. But a part of that is another reason that I really like Doom, in particular this game in the series, is that it keeps its own pace up so that it never really feels like you're being taken out of the gameplay for any of these things to happen.
I think another thing that helps is that the gore is used in different ways in different contexts. For example, say Daredevil, the Netflix Marvel version. The scene where Kingpin squishes the guy's head with the car door is incredibly gory, but that works in that scene because you're not supposed to be like, oh man, look at all the blood. You're supposed to be like, holy shit, this guy is.
Holy shit.
Who was
Yeah.
that? That was Owlsy.
No,
right?
no, this was like the second episode. So it was,
right. This
I
was
think it was.
much earlier
I think
on.
it was one of the Russian guys. I haven't watched it in a while.
Owlsley,
it was one of the
gets,
Russian
Owlsley
mobs.
gets dropped down an elevator shaft. I remember
Yeah,
now.
yeah. Whereas here the gore isn't. It's not dwelt upon. For like you see, it's. I guess it helps. It's part of the fast-paced nature. Like you rip someone's arm off and there's blood, but it's not like it's splurting out for hours and hours. Like
Or you drink out of it from like a chalice.
yeah.
Well,
Basically.
it kind of lends itself to this fact that Doom Guy doesn't care much about that shit either.
Yeah, he
He,
doesn't.
he just wants them dead, and he wants them fucking dead.
yeah, basically.
Once they're dead, he loses interest.
Yeah. He doesn't
gone.
care about the blood necessarily. He just likes
he's
that they're
he's moving
dead.
on to the next thing that needs doing.
Yeah.
So
Dooming.
Dooming.
Yeah.
dooming. But the same thing.
The thing about me, though, is that you don't even necessarily need to have a lot of blood or gore to make something satisfying or have an impact. And again,
Oh yeah, no. You don't. It's not necessary
we-
at all.
You know, one of my favorite things, again, we're going to bring up a Bayonetta counter in this fucking playthrough, because it's only because I'm playing it now for the channel, but, you know, I get joy out of, like, using a Wicked Weave, whether it's the fist or the heel, and kicking a humongous angel and seeing it fly across the screen and then hit the wall. Like that. There's little to no blood involved in that sort of thing, but it's just the impact it leaves and how powerful I feel after doing
Is it
that.
me or does Bayonetta always come up when we're doing these secret missions?
You know what I hate? Alpheum portals.
Yeah,
They
those
suck
things.
dick.
Those were. I mean, I'm sure we'll do Bayonetta eventually. Like those were one of the things that. Ugh, yes, screw those. Screw those.
They're better in Bayonetta 2, but Bayonetta 1, no.
You know, it's not even the portal themselves. It's me going from one area, one fight to the next, and then it's just like, oh, you missed 16 portals, and it's just like you see 15 Enzo statues, and it's just like, wow, you suck, ha ha ha. And I'm like, okay, game, whatever. All right.
Well, it also helps in Bayonetta 2's case that the secret mission portals are laid out in a way that you're expected to beat them in order as you play the game, as opposed to Bayonetta 1, which expected you to have half the stuff from the late game to get the early game missions done.
Well, I don't, Dad.
And just so you guys know, I'm cutting out the obnoxious load times between challenges.
Yeah.
I'm guessing the load times in this are pretty bad then.
Well, in the
It-
console
it-
version anyway.
In the console version, at least on the bright side, it's just one front-loaded load
Okay.
for the levels.
Yeah.
I prefer that.
It's a pretty long load, but once you get out the level, there's no loading at all, really, unless you're
Resident
like
Evil
doing speed
7.
running shit.
Resident Evil 7 has that exact problem. There's a really long front load, but then you have to do stuff like the videotape. The videotape things. There's like a 2-minute load going into the videotape because it's loading a completely different area of the game usually, and then there's another 2-minute load at the end when you finish the videotape and return to the
2-minute
main
load?
game.
Yeah, it's about
Jesus
that
Yeah,
long.
Christ. Okay.
it gets pretty obnoxious because it's loading this whole big area, you know?
You see, okay, so generally speaking, I prefer in games just if they just load once and then that's it. Like you don't
Yeah,
have.
this is generally what this game does, unless you're doing one of the trial runs.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's
I
like
mean, Last of Us was the exact same way. It was just one really long front load.
yeah.
But damn, what a load.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Well,
like
I'm just saying that, like Ted, I prefer that than constantly doing
Like,
10
I'm-
to 20-second loads.
I don't mind spending 30 seconds just looking at Twitter waiting for the game to load. It's like when I go, it's like, for example, if you've got a kind of game where the level is split up into like 2 loading zones, and then when you're walking from loading zone to loading zone, and then there's like a 5-minute loading time. That's actually something, the game isn't out yet at the time of this recording. Kirby Star Allies. I'm really looking forward to that game. I hope it's great. It probably will be great. But the thing is that in between every room, and in Kirby games, the rooms are normally pretty small, there's like a 5-second loading time where it's just like a blue box, and there's like general loading screen tips and things like that. And it's like, wow, the pace of a Kirby game slows really, really, really slowly when you have to spend 5 to 10 seconds in between every room just staring at nothing, when the load times on 3DS and everything before that were instantaneous. So I would have rather them spent 20 seconds at the beginning of the stage loading the whole thing than having to wait 5 seconds in between every room. and
Yeah,
breaking
because
up the pace.
once you've got your groove on, you don't necessarily want to stop, but the game is stopping you on a fairly regular basis.
Yeah. So I don't think that'll ruin my thoughts of the game. I'm sure the game will be great, but it's something I worry about at the moment.
Something to look forward to when they inevitably remaster it 2 generations from now.
You see, they actually haven't, in Kirby specifically, they've only remade 2 of the games, so maybe, like, I don't know, they'll probably just port it and make you pay $20 for it. Or actually, no, this is Nintendo. It'll be $60 until the end of time, because you still have to pay like $40 for Super Mario Galaxy. I'm not even kidding. Super Mario Galaxy and Galaxy 2 are still like $40 games. It's obnoxious.
Are they $40 on the eShop too?
Yeah.
Well, they're 20 on the eShop, but they're still like 40 if you
Alright.
want to buy the physical version. And I think like even directly from Nintendo. So yeah, which is nothing on Nintendo will ever come cheap. So
Nintendo. It's a good thing your games are so goddamn worth it.
So anyway,
Game Virtual Console $30 a piece.
honestly, don't give them ideas, man. They probably will try to do that.
Give them the idea. Where do you think he got the idea
No,
from?
just keep a lid on that stuff, because if Nintendo doesn't hear you, Konami will.
It's funny because it's true. Yeah, Konami probably would make you try to pay $30 for like Snake Eater on.
I didn't
download.
notice that, and it's probably a programming quirk, but the blood splatter remains on the gun in the menu screen.
Well, it's probably just pulling the one that they're using in
Yeah,
the game
it's the
itself.
same model that's sticking out of the chin of your camera.
And now it's clean.
Oh, it's not in the menu though.
Huh. Weird.
Weird.
Time to upgrade my suit by plugging shit into it. That's totally how it works. Yeah, the last thing I would recommend is power-up effectiveness. You're just not using power-ups enough for that to matter.
Yeah. I mean,
And honestly, does the Berserk power-up need to be any better?
Like it could last longer.
Yeah, it could last longer.
That's true. You know what's better than one hand? 2 hands.
the
It was
thing
the
about
two-armed man.
the thing about power-ups though is that they're not really as effective on your on your first playthrough as they are in later playthroughs, where you might have you might remember where in the level there are power-ups and take that into account when planning your on-the-fly battle strategies. But,
So that's a question I have. When you're playing this game again, like replaying it, what are you? Is it just for fun, or other than finding secrets and whatnot? Are there any other incentives to play the game a second time, or
Nah, just for fun, really.
just for fun? Okay, that's that. You know what? That's. I'm not going to be disappointed by that, because that's kind of what we used to do back in my day. We did like I played Sonic
Achievements
Adventure.
today, trophies no way.
Yeah. Like back in the day, I would just replay Sonic Adventure 2 stages for fun. Like I didn't need to have such and such. Like I wasn't even going for specific rankings. It was just like, I like this stage, I'm going to play it again. And you don't really see that too much. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So whenever you're hopping around like you're on a pogo stick, I just try to imagine what Doom Guy physically looks like when he's doing that shit.
Whee!
Sometimes I imagine him really stiff-backed, bouncing around, and other times I imagine him with his legs clamped really tight around an actual pogo stick. Just a balancing legend.
In that instance, after destroying all the art energy and pissing Samuel off, I more imagined him doing like a jaunty little jig while Sam's talking to him.
Do a little Charleston.
But you see, the pogo stick
Or maybe
image,
maybe he jumps like in Halo multiplayer, where the models don't actually jump; they just kind of go up.
the pogo stick image, though, appeals to me on a certain level, because you have to imagine him with his legs clamped on the pogo stick, and his shotgun held out in that classic shooting pose, because that will never leave your camera's view. So he's always going to be holding a gun out in a shooting pose, no matter what he's doing. So he's pogo sticking around with a shotgun, killing demons.